Hey guys, DC here, and this is my review of Layton's Mystery Journey Plus on the Apple Arcade for the iPad Pro. So the game is loading up here. We are going to be selecting a language. I speak English. And we're on the title screen. We have a little bit of the subtitle, Catriel and the Millionaire's Conspiracy. And this is, I think, my second game that I'm going to be reviewing on the iPad Pro as opposed to my Apple TV. And we're going to be starting with a new game here. I just need to enter a name. Now, I first started playing the Layton universe, the Professor Layton universe or series, whatever you want to call it, because there's been so many spin-offs and renditions of it. Years and years ago. I think I first started playing it on the Nintendo DS, if I'm not mistaken, was my very first Professor Layton game. And since then, there's been a lot of different spin-offs and, different renditions of the game. And you see here that, you're able to toggle, it looks like, back and forth between landscape and portrait. I wasn't able to do that while I was actually playing the game, but I've done just a little bit of editing on this video, just to kind of make sure that you guys are able to see everything clear. But the game does go back and forth between portrait and landscape mode quite often. Now, this is just kind of bringing us into the universe. I think Catriel is related to Professor Layton in some way. It looks like she may be his daughter, potentially.
Where are you going? Daddy?
So we kind of open here, I think, on like a London street based on the fog. I know that London can be pretty kind of smoggy, foggy, almost year round, if I'm not mistaken. One thing that's cool about this game, there's a lot of like sort of cinematic scenes. There's a lot of story building in this. Like I've said before, in a lot of these Apple Arcade games, there is multiple things sort of going on. It's never too one-dimensional. So for like a puzzle game, which Professor Layton in the Layton universe is kind of I guess stapled in or enthralled in, is kind of being a puzzle game, right? That's the main sort of a genre that it lends itself to. There is a lot of story that's developed within the Layton universe, and within this game, there's a lot of different cutscenes and a lot of story building between your puzzles. Within this video, I think I'm able to maybe just show you two puzzles. Other than that, there's a lot of sort of character development, a lot of story development, a lot of just kind of introduction into navigating through this universe for this game. So, I've had to kind of go back and cut out a lot of the in between. And obviously, when I'm solving puzzles, it can take some time, and a lot of the iPad games that you guys are going to be seeing me review within the Apple Arcade, I did this while, kind of on an airplane, so I wasn't completely focused and kind of looking around. So there's a lot that I had to cut out. But yeah, look at this opening scene. It looks like a movie, like a real cartoon sort of show. This in Professor Layton, if I'm not mistaken, maybe it is a show. So let me know if you guys follow Professor Layton and the Layton sort of detective agency, the universe, closer than I do. But this looks like it could be an actual kind of real cartoon here.
London's most happening streets.
Okay, so yeah, this is definitely set in London.
Any mystery solved? That's the Layton
So
detective
this is just kind of
motto.
giving us a little bit of information on the backstory of how the detective agency was opened.
What mysteries are waiting for me. You must come and visit me if you have the time. Yours faithfully, Catriel.
So that's Catriel. Lady and a Tramp. So this is the prologue. And you see, yeah, see, there's still so much building here and a lot that I've cut out. Kind of just introducing us into kind of this to this new sort of addition to the Layton universe and a new character, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if he appears in some of the other games.
Who said that? Was it you?
So we have the conversation with the talking dog,
A talking dog?
cat, and the talking dog.
It's only talking.
Only talking? Is it true? Huh? I want some
So
proof.
it's odd that
Can you really solve
she's
any
able
mystery?
to
Seeing you hang that sign gives me an idea.
speak to the dog.
Let's see you try your paw at this.
And I think this is going to bring us into our first puzzle here. So that's the fun part of this game. So this is puzzle 1, care for a cake, 20 carrots. The letter K has fallen down from the sign above the cake shop. Use the 3 triangles to make the letter K inside the box. You can move the triangles around by sliding them, and you can rotate them by touching them. When the K is formed, the success message will be displayed automatically. Place the triangles carefully. So this was again the first puzzle of the game here, and again I was doing this on the plane, so I wasn't completely paying attention. I was kind of going back and forth a little bit, so I do fast forward here and there. This gives you some more information on solving the puzzle. When you attempt a puzzle, be sure to read the explanation carefully. Touch the up arrow to the right. So there's a little bit, you can get the directions again if you need to read them. So I have the 3 triangles, and I first tried to make the K kind of using the triangles. But you can see here that I eventually just kind of go to a quick little hint, and then it finally comes to me to go ahead and use the negative space. I was trying to use it with the make a K with the space of the triangle pattern, but then I realized, okay, I need to be using the negative space, and the negative space is kind of just that blank canvas on how to within this canvas here, and that's how I eventually get the K here. But at first I think I do like a little bit of a hint or something like that, but first I fast forwarded here for you guys. And what's cool about this game, it does give you hints, and this first puzzle, again, not super easy. You can definitely kind of get lost in this if you're looking at it the wrong way. You gotta kind of look at it for a little bit of time, and then it may come to you. So that's always been one thing. Okay, so here's the hint here. See a new hint, you'll have to spin 1 hint coin. All the triangles need to be rotated. So and the hints get better as you kind of go through them. As you kind of go up that kind of the hint ladder, I guess, more or less. So eventually I go ahead and move everything into place, and then it just kind of locks in for me. But it did take me longer than I wanted to, but again, I was kind of in a plane, moving around, trying to
This should do
get
it, I
comfortable.
think. Puzzles are made for
Alright, so
solving.
puzzle solved, and again, that's very classic Professor Layton as far as how they kind of award you and kind of acknowledge your success. You did it, the sign is fixed, and the shop is open again. Care for cake, anyone? So, and you can see kind of in the pictures using the negative space for the K, as opposed to like the the darker space. This gives us a little bit of information, background on carrots. The amount of carrots is, I guess, determined by the puzzle difficulty. And if you get a puzzle wrong, they will not award you as many carrots. So puzzle 1 has been added to the index, and I think you're able to go back and look at the puzzles whenever you like.
All right. You seem to be up to scratch.
All right, so we're cutting back
Thank
to the dog conversation here.
Why don't you step inside?
She's gonna invite the dog inside the Layton Detective Agency, and again, Catriel, I think, is again our main character, Cat. I've mentioned it 100 times on this channel that it's just cool, neat having female lead characters
What can I do for you?
in some of these roles.
Look at me. It's obvious.
What?
I'm a talking dog.
Yes, I can see that, and
And
Talking
Right
dog,
then.
and it's one of those floppy ear dogs. If
A
you,
dog with
I'm not good
amnesia.
with dog breeds.
if I could just
Let me
remember
know
my
what kind of
parents,
dog that
it
is.
might make more sense.
I'm not
I feel like
familiar.
I'm me, but not really me. I don't even know if I'm pedigree.
is that all?
No, that's not all. I want you to
Well,
find
I
out who I
love how
really
much
am.
sort of time and energy they put into this. I know this isn't an original game for the
Come
Apple
on.
Arcade.
I'm a talking dog.
Got anything else?
It is just kind of like one of those plus games,
A
but
diabolical box that kills you? A letter from the future?
they put a lot into
A
this.
relic from an ancient
All the Professor
civilization?
Layton games they put a lot
Something
into.
like that?
But this is definitely kind of
Well,
taking it to another
This is
sort
my
of a
first
level, I
inquiry.
think, with the animations, the
Perhaps it's fake.
voiceover,
Alright.
color
any
quality.
clues?
Well,
It's
not
just the
everyone
artistry.
can do talking.
It's really strong in this. It could be a, its own cartoon
It's very rare to find someone who can.
easily,
actually.
if it's not one already.
That dog! It just spoke! Oh,
And here's another rare someone who can hear you talk.
Who's this?
Okay, now they're discovering that
Apparently, he's my
another
assistant.
person
I
can
told
hear
him
the
I don't
dog.
need help, but he won't listen.
Overly dogged. No one wants that.
what's all this about, Miss Layton?
This talking dog wants me to solve the
Yeah,
mystery
so-
of who he is and where he comes from.
Moving forward,
We've had our first inquiry.
I said this in the Fruit
Such a
Ninja
fascinating case from day
in the Fruit
one. Your
Ninja
reputation
video.
obviously
Go ahead and check that. That was my
precedes you.
first sort of
I don't believe you told me your name.
video that
Ernest
has the
Greaves,
iPad
miss.
game that has like an iPad or iPhone exclusive Apple Arcade game that's not available on the Apple TV. I didn't have to edit that as much, but obviously with the iPad the dimensions are a little bit different, and sometimes the game will use a portrait or landscape mode to play it in,
can't even remember
so
my
you'll
own
see
name.
different dimensions
Well, do you remember
kind of laid
anything else
out
at
within
all?
my videos here.
I've got a vague
And
memory of a
you can see I have like
tower or
the
something
you
falling
can't
down.
win if you don't play.
And then
So the
lightning
background
flashing across the sky.
that's accompanying this
That's
video.
it.
Goodness, golly.
And
not
with
much
this
to go
video,
on, is it?
there's a
Who are
couple
you?
edits I had to make with the
It certainly
orientation,
isn't.
just to make sure that it
I've no other cases at the moment,
stays
so why not?
correct for you guys.
I'll do what I can.
When I was
You
playing
will?
it, I got to
Well,
rotate
that's
my
great.
iPad a few
Oh,
times.
but I must insist
And if
on
I didn't say
noting, you know
before,
your man's best
we
friend.
are playing on the iPad Pro 3rd generation 11-inch.
Well, here's the paperwork then. Now, you'll need a name. How about Shirl?
Shirl?
You said you can't remember your name. So, I've thought of one for you. With
And now
inspiration
they're
from the famous Sherlock
Going to be
Holmes.
calling the dog
It
Cheryl
really
moving
suits
forward.
Oh, that's splendid, sir.
It's supposed to
Being
be a
named
spin-off
after such a
of
prestigious
Sherlock
figure, I mean.
Jones.
Like I said, who asked you?
But
anyway?
you. Look,
you can see here how much I've been
Yeah.
talking. The
Sherlock
game
O.C.
definitely does a lot
Sherlock's
of,
a great
again,
name.
story building,
Don't
a lot of
you,
animation.
Stop calling me that.
They're really kind of building a universe as we get a knock on the door here.
Are you in?
Ah. Inspector Hastings.
Okay, so we have Inspector Hastings. He's going to be bringing us, I guess, well, before we speak to him, we're going to save the game. But he's going to be bringing us at least that first sort of major story arc within the game. So I think he will be letting us know about more or less the first chapter within the game about one of the clock hands on Big Ben being stolen. So in just a moment here, I'll probably be taking us over like through fast forward to Scotland Yard, just because there's tons of dialogue in this game, so be ready for that. There is a lot of dialogue, there's a lot of reading that will kind of go on with this game. So that's one thing where maybe they could have pulled back a little bit on the dialogue. It is a lot. I don't mind it, but I know certain gamers, they want more of the puzzles right away. And again, there are tons of puzzles within the Layton universe and within this game. This game does supplement it a lot with dialogue and kind of connecting stories. very story-driven game. So I think we're gonna go over to just change the scene here real quickly to Scotland Yard. And now we're just getting more of a breakdown on the investigations and how to navigate within the game. So the game does kind of take you through it slowly on how to kind of investigate your scene or the environment a little bit more. You have the magnifying glass, you're able to zoom in, zoom out, do further inspections, interview people. The game kind of takes you through that slowly, kind of, you have to pull it out of the game. It's told again within like a story matter, so it takes the game a little bit of time to kind of give you all the ways to inspect your environment and navigate around. But again, great character design. Whether the characters are being pinned by the animator, or kind of within this scene where it's more of a graphic design as opposed to kind of a pen, where you have pixels and everything like that. This is more of a three-dimensional look at our characters. So right now, Kat is just doing a little bit of evidence gathering, looking at the scene. So we get the opportunity to investigate the lamppost, just so we can know how to investigate our environment, and we're able to find a coin within the lamppost. And if I didn't say it before, Ernest is like her sidekick or assistant at the agency. So just another sort of concept within the game. Now, if you've already been within the Professor Layton universe, then you know a lot of these things as far as making sure no stone is unturned and looking for coins and things of that nature. So you know a lot of this. So this game really does a good job at reintroducing you to some of those concepts, which may not be necessary, but for a person or a gamer that's new to the Layton universe, I think that it does a good job as far as just laying everything out and giving you a good sort of overall concept of the game and how to move about. So yeah, we get more information on kind of our heads-up display. This game, it does have, the cartoony animations, everything like that. I wouldn't recommend this for too young of a gamer. I think with some of the puzzles, they are suitable for older gamers, I would say, more or less. So I wouldn't recommend this necessarily as a good starter game. It could, it really depends on kind of where you are as a gamer and kind of your puzzle solving and your logic and reasoning, things like that. So this could be a frustrating game for you, or it could be something that really kind of, pushes you to think outside the box and everything like that, and kind of enriching and fulfilling while you're playing. So it just kind of depends on where you're at with your puzzle games and kind of how much you play and how much you enjoy them. Alright, so now we're just being kind of taught how to zoom in. The magnifying glass will change depending on what you're over, it looks like. So it'll let you know if you can investigate or do like a further zoom in. So yeah, I moved the magnifying glass over the clock tower and we're able to zoom in. And as we can see, one of the clock hands is missing. So that just kind of reinforces why our characters are here in Scotland Yard. They are looking to find that individual who has taken the hand, and they know now, or will find out soon, that it was kind of late at night. So yeah, it looks like between 11:50 and 6 a.m. the clock hand was removed from Big Ben. So they have about a 6-hour window, and that will take us into shortly here that we will be taken into another puzzle. So our first two puzzles are pretty far apart. That's the only thing that I would say is maybe a that could maybe lose some people's interest a little bit. Again, this is fairly dialogue heavy, and I've cut out about half of it, so just kind of give you an idea there. But I think once you're able to get through these beginning stages of kind of learning the navigation of the game and the overall concept, obviously there's not as much kind of a tutorial that's kind of been placed within the dialogue. Alright, so our first sort of major story arc again here, we are putting together our evidence on how to figure out who stole the clock hand. And we have just kind of like a silhouette of the clock hand there, or a stencil of it in our book. Yeah, so it's considered our first case. So each case has 6 clues. So this game has a lot. It's very, very deep game, has a lot in it. I do recommend this for any gamers that are within that puzzle, I guess within that puzzle genre and enjoy themselves. This is right up your alley. It is a puzzle with a lot of story and dialogue within it. So, it's really it's a lot deeper game than you would think. I want to say it's a lot deeper than the first Layton series, if I'm not mistaken, that first Layton game that I've ever played. So now we're going to puzzle 2, Hands of Time, 35 carats. Total score right now I have 20. This is puzzle 2. The clock is currently showing the time as 3:30 p.m. It would be nice if the hands of the clock would show midnight. What would be the minimum number of places you would need to touch on the clock to show the desired time? So one thing with some of these clues, and with this clue specifically, sometimes they can get you with almost like a trick question, right? So just kind of keep that in mind, that some of the questions are trick questions. If you overthink this, then you'll probably end up getting it wrong at first, and then it'll finally kind of click to you after you get it wrong once or twice. So I think when I first was reading this and kind of looking at this, I may have misinterpreted the question, I think if it was 3:30, I was thinking, you know, how many hour spaces, right? Or in how many minute places would I need to move it, I think. So I may have done like, I don't know, 60 or 36 or something like that. It's kind of just not not really kind of absorbing the full question and thinking out all the full possibilities. But it starts to sink in on me, and then I kind of realize, I think I may have taken a hint that, you know, a clock moves by itself. And then after that, I realized kind of what the answer was. So you don't necessarily need to touch it to have it read 12 o'clock or whatever time they want you to kind of move it to. So I do take a little bit of time to kind of think about it. I think I'd just go ahead and say, you know what, let me just put an attempt in, and then I'll see what what they tell me as far as like a feedback, right? So sometimes they'll give you a little bit of feedback on your attempt. They'll give you kind of more of a hint. But let's see what I put here. I think I put like 39 or something like that, or 36. Just thinking of like the amount of clicks, but that does not end up being correct here. So I put 39. Go ahead, submit. And then what's nice is, yeah, they give you a little of a build up.
That's
Say,
not
oh
like
no.
me.
How to get the clock to show midnight. Can you think of a way? So you just continue thinking. I think I do a hint and eventually go ahead and get it. You do view hints. But this is pretty much my review on the game. I was able to show you 2 puzzles, a lot of dialogue. I enjoyed the whole Layton series. This is similar to the rest of the games. This one may have a little bit more dialogue, a little bit more story building, but nonetheless, great for anyone that's into the mind teasers and puzzles. This is kind of right up your alley. So I recommend this for someone who's definitely very intrigued by puzzles. I wouldn't recommend this for kind of a more someone who's just more passive with puzzles and not really enjoying them. This is someone who's a little bit more into it and not so casual. Hopefully you enjoyed my review. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, you can't win if you don't play.
This should do it, I think. And that's how it's done.
Thank you.